Vidcom, bienvenue, welcome one and all to another live stream. The keen-eyed amongst you will notice I have the dearest, sweet, incandescent Vicky Poole, who at the moment seems to be carrying a rather large bag of swag, virtually. She keeps talking about a £6 billion pot. What in the Sam Hill are you referring to?
Well, I'm so glad you contextualised that one there, Gareth, because of course people know I'm a Geordie lass. She's carrying around six billion swag. I have the police knocking down my door. Jesus. So yes, I am of course talking about the contract values of public sector sales. So in the last 12 months, there was 6 billion in contracts sold in the public sector.
That's almost
That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah, it's almost as much as MPs get as a pay rise. But anyway, moving on.
It's funny, but it's true.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's funny. Go on. Sad.
Yeah, 6 billion. 6 billion. In the last year, there was £6 billion worth of contracts in the public sector space. So today I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what is public sector. So public sector is Ministry of Departments. So Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Defence, blah, blah, blah. You then got the charities, which is the third sector, because they're like regulated, they get a lot of money donated by the public, and they also get a lot of funding from central government, sometimes local government, in order to run their operations. Then, 6 billion, yeah. Then they often come out through public sector procurements because it's a regulated form of procurement. And then, of course, you also get the councils. So you have parish councils all the way through to unitary councils and everyone in between. So different councils have different responsibilities. You'll often find that you've got town councils that sit within a district, which can be a unitary authority or a metropolitan authority. And they're just responsible for different things. For example, town councils are very, very rarely responsible for education, whereas unitary authorities and metropolitan authorities typically are responsible for education. And all of those contracts, I mean, if you've got a building, you have to have building maintenance, you have to have insurance on your building.
Right.
You'll have to have utilities going into your building. So yes, British Gas will have to be submitting tenders for utilities. You'll have vehicles. So we've seen a lot of vehicles now coming through procurements, and these have also been subsidised through through a cost of change grant. So you're replacing your petrol, diesel vehicles, moving to like an electronic or a hybrid vehicle. So you get a fund for to offset some of the capital bits. And then there's grants available out there to fund your EV chargers in your workplace. So all this is public sector. Now, and there's more, So there's psychologists who are offering support to young people in schools.
Psychologists? Cool.
Psychologists, yeah. There are business coaches selling to the councils to go through the councils and speak to SMEs who are looking to develop and grow their business. There's bid writing. Oh my God, would you believe it? There's bid writing bids. So we can go in and help SMEs with their bids and show them what needs to be done. What else? Oh, there's everything. So there was a tender recently for pasta and pasta sauces.
What?
Yes, I know. Right, pasta and pasta sauces. I mean, yes, we do a lot of cleaning. Yes, we do a lot of facilities here at Tender Response. We've been doing quite a few marketing tenders recently. It is the season to do marketing. La 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 la. We are expecting though, because there was we were expecting more tenders. So the general election in July has somewhat scuppered things. Because a lot of people don't realise that the people who run the election locally is the council. So they have to have presence to man the electoral stations. They then also have to oversee the count. And of course, when you're doing all of that, you really have to strip your services back to bare bones. So a lot of councils typically don't run procurements. So they kind of sweat their assets a little bit longer, go for a 3-month extension, don't go out for procurement as quickly as they were going to do, and then they constrain the transformation or the rollout at the back end, all because of a general election.
Because of the general
pandemonium. However, it does mean that we are expecting a bumper Q4. So we are anticipating that there's going to be about £200 million worth of tenders minimum released in September through to December.
Oh, maybe I can get in on that action.
Maybe. We have started to see some social medias where there are multiple streams and it's about aligned marketing. So maybe, Gareth, we'll have a conversation. Now, there are a lot of people out there who don't necessarily know what it's like to dip your toes into the public sector space. And there's a lot of people out there who kind of get frightened, think, the big boys. Well, I don't know if you guys can remember, but a couple of weeks ago, I was chatting about one of my clients. We got him onto a preferred supplier relationship.
Yes.
So he was a group of suppliers. He got 3 quotes and converted 2 of them, which equated to £14,000 worth of business just by filling out a form and being in the right space and marketing himself, pricing himself is what he would have done, plus a little bit extra. So he's actually making more money.
Yeah, but it was all about timing.
SMEs.
It was about timing and appropriateness. So basically,
100%.
Were you working with him to do that?
On the quotes, no. But I got him onto the preferred supplier relationship on the basis, filled out the forms for him, but no, everything was direct with the client.
Wow, but you got him. But you did, because if you're not in it, you can't win it. So you got them you got them on the preferred supplier list. So I suppose that's that's the first most important step. And then once you're there, then you've got to pick and choose your battles, right?
Oh, 100%. So is every battle worth fighting? I had exactly the same conversation with my husband when we were away camping recently. Not every battle is worth fighting with the kids.
Not everybody. No, absolutely not. Otherwise, you end up losing all that hair.
Yes. So for example, George, put that stick down. Don't antagonize a hornet's nest. That's a battle to fight.
God, yes. Yes.
George, put that stick down. You're going to hit your brother with it.
Less important.
Less important. Still important, but less so.
Yeah, yeah.
Hornets are massive things. I tell you what, it's a really low kind of resonance buzz.
Yeah, but it's for some odd reason I've got such a negative association with that buzz that if I even hear it, I'm like suddenly on major alert and I can't think of anything else until that thing is out of earshot.
I tell you what, since I came home and seen how big these hornets are, I don't know if it was an Asian hornet. I didn't ask where it was from, but all the windows in the house have been closed now. I used to leave them on latch to let air through. Not anymore.
It's terrible though. Those things are massive. I know they're about as long as my thumb, and they have very, very poisonous stings. Yeah, you guys, you never thought you were going to get information about insects, did you?
Well, the question, I'm sure the question on everybody's lips is, when you find a hornet's nest, and if the council needs to come out to procure its removal, will it be procured on public sector frameworks? The answer is yes, it will.
Nice segue.
Thank you.
Not at all.
But so, of course,
if you're a pest control expert, then theoretically you can get on that list and then potentially get chosen to be provider of pest control services for X number of years, right?
It's like Gareth and I have been working together before. He knows, man. He knows. So obviously, if you're sitting here and you're thinking, Jesus, I work in pest control, I could have a go at some of this, but where do I start? That's a question that I would get, or question that I would ask.
Vicky, where would you start?
Well, that's an excellent question, Gareth. Where would one start? So on the 9th of October, I'm pulling together a little soiree, an afternoon soiree. No, you can drink it. You can drink a cup of coffee. You can come along, bring a notepad and pen. It's all online. And it's 2 hours of all the useful information that you're going to need to know if you want to do any sort of business in public sector to help you get a piece of that £6 billion. So there's going to be a little piece about talking about sales in public sector and how it works, how the account management works, because everything's regulated. There's going to be a piece about finding tenders and how do you know? Why would you want to spend a whole lot of effort getting ready to sell in the public sector if you don't know that that's an avenue that's available for you in your market?
Right.
So we're going to have a member of our analytics team talking you through how the analytics works. And, you know, we're going to be taking a feedback from people in the room. Well, the presentation on the 9th will be a presentation. There'll be a second event where they'll do like interactive bits. So whether you're social media or pest control or brickwork, there is actually stonemasonry out for procurement at the moment is a complete side. We'll look at specific industries. You can look at your competition, see where their contracts are, and make it really so you actually get to understand the market. From there, we're going to go in and talk about cyber security. So councils, they are really heavily targeted for cyber attacks. So it's really important that you as a business understand what your obligations are. Some people or some organizations ask you for certain accreditations, some don't. They're going to be more relevant in certain industries over others. So if you're handling any information, you're going to need to be more aware. So we're going to have a bit of a panel discussion and we're going to have a presentation by one of our cyber friends. And then we're going to go in to talk about something that's really important, which is carbon emissions and social value. Right. So by the point that this webinar is held, 20 to 25% of bids is going to be scored off of social value and sustainability. And the percentage of that is obviously going to relate down to carbon reduction plans, carbon reduction statements, and how you support carbon minimalization in the area that you're going to be delivering that contract to. And there's a lot of big words in there. I didn't quite understand it at the best of times. I had to take lessons on how to pronounce the bloody words half the time. So what we're going to do there is we're going to have a panel discussion of all of the big players and all of the players that I think, well, they play a lot in with my clients and they feed into a lot of value with me, just so that you then are very well rounded. And then over the next, so that's on the 9th, and then from the 9th to the 18th, there's going to be a series of other events that are not on the website yet because it's all sitting in my inbox waiting for approval, or the artwork's waiting for approval. All series of events like getting paid in the public sector, how to write this kind of response, how to qualify your bid. You know, it's going to be really cool. And if you're not there at the webinar, at the kickoff on the 9th of October, you're going to miss out on the discount codes. Some of these events are going to be paid events and some of them are going to be free. You need to be there on the 9th in order to pick up your discount code to make your events for free.
Wow. Can I be at these events?
Of course you can, Gareth. I'll send you an invite.
Guys, we'll both be there, cracking jokes and providing light entertainment to all. Well, actually providing support as far as public sector tendering is concerned, but it's going to be worth it, I think, for everyone to turn out and learn something new. I tend to come away from this sort of stuff every time I work with Vicky, learning a little bit more. I mean, crikey, there's so much more to know. Let me give you for instance, a friend of mine who actually rebuilt part of our roof, he's a roofer by trade, has always shied away from public sector tenders. He said, because I expect him to do all sorts of weird and wonderful insurance stuff and all the rest of it. That may be the case, but I think it'd be well worth him taking a look at it. Wouldn't you say, for a roofer?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we recently supported Foster's Roofing, which is a company in Hull, to go after one of their local councils. The council there provides support for social housing. And there are 3 suppliers on this list. And they actually specified in the tender pack, the winning supplier gets first dibs on everything. So they're going to have the opportunity for, I think it's like £1 million of the business a year.
Nuts.
Nice. And then the second supplier will pick up the overflow, which is roughly 20%. So he's like, so Paul said to me from Foster's Roofing, if I'm in second place, you know, that 200 grand a year is going to be fundamental for my business.
Of course,
he got second place by a country mile. So the incumbent provider stayed in situ, but Paul, he's in second place. It's fundamental for his business. He's never picked up a piece of business like this before, and he's got it for 5 years. He's over the moon.
Well, yeah, of course, he's getting 200k a year, and not having to
potential 200k. Yeah.
Right. Is there a minimum level, or is it's just whatever happens to overflow?
Because it depends. Because it said on the principal contract is like $1 million is like $1 million a year, and the overflow is about 20% based off of the works. So if it's particularly windy and you lose a lot of tiles, the principal provider might not be able to support all of the tile replacements, so there might be overflow. If there's certain types of roofing that need or roofing maintenance, or there's a new roof, the principal provider might not be able to provide it, so it goes to overflow. And shit always rolls downhill, so everything goes in order. It goes number 1, number 2, number 3. So he always gets first shot overflow.
Wow. Well, look, you heard it here first. It's always important to be in it, otherwise you cannot possibly win it. Vicky, Poole, I'm going to talk very briefly about, I've never talked about this before, of course, about the various bits of useful information that you've got available to people.
Well, funnily enough, all of the relevant bits of useless information on our resources page, which is tenderresponse.co.uk/resources, we're going to be going through large segments of this in the first few weeks of October as part of our webinar series that falls out the back of our sales kickoff event. That's on the 9th of October. The thing that's of particular importance in here is about the sales qualification tool. So there's like a big qualification matrix. So a lot of our, when we're helping our clients qualify a bid, we send, when it's a very big strategic bid, we send this Excel spreadsheet across, and it updates and it helps them to see graphically where their win areas are in a bid and where their weak spaces are in a bid, so that they can try and find some more information before they decide to invest and go for that bid. So that's really cool, really interesting. There are some other documents in there that are regulatory required, so which is your carbon reduction plan. So if you haven't got a copy of that, and to save you finding it online, because it's a bit of a pain, it's available for download on our website.
And I suppose if they got any real humdinger or questions, they can always pump it through on the WhatsApp number.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So this is our WhatsApp number. We have a talking man in the team now who may or may not be responding to text messages over the next couple of days or so while I'm playing catch up on my emails from my hike. So yeah, typically we respond inside of 24 hours. If it really is super urgent, let us know. Usually start off with an exclamation mark, and it'll the team will pick it up straight away. If there's any information that we need, so if you're asking us a question about a particular bid, you do need to send us the bid so that we can have a look at it. Probably too big to send on WhatsApp, so drop it into admin@tenderresponse.co.uk and drop your question in the WhatsApp, and then we'll kind of get the information together and respond accordingly.
Please play this back if you're unsure. It only remains for me to say thank you very much for spending your time with me today, Vicky. I always learn a little bit more. And all for you out there, we're at hump day, so keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, keep looking forward to the weekend, and look after that mental health. Bye-bye now.